I pride myself on being a paid shill, making drama garbage content for immature people. For 10 years, I've prided myself on being some bullshit character, overact for the camera, to make money from kids. Thanks for the money, dummies. Banned. The camera's been on the whole time. Bounce. I'm actually a virgin. See this fucking piece of garbage disc? Thanks for the money, stupid fuck. Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, dogs, cats, aliens, creatures of the night? Welcome to the first Hate Live podcast in a bajillion years. Thank you for being here. This should be a good one. The way that I'm going to approach this show is I'm going to have it in segments. The first segment is stuff about how I'm doing personally, the business side, tax update, let you guys know how everything's going behind the scenes, okay? So if you're not interested in that segment, go take a dump or something, I don't know. Then I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna have a much more serious segment. This segment is gonna be about a hot topic, something that a lot of people have been talking about in the world recently, and something that I personally have a lot that I feel I could talk about and add to it, because I personally am affected by it, and the topic is depression. And as someone that has suffered from it and still suffers from it to this day, why is it that we have celebrities who are filthy rich and world famous and they're actually committing suicide? They just take everything they have for granted, and that pisses me off. So I want to have a very serious discussion about that at the end of the podcast. So it's going to be a fun show. Also, as you can see, people who cheer, sub, and tip, I will be giving shout outs during the stream, and I do have a stream stats leaderboard above me, so thanks to Ostmink and Naruto Pussy for your contribution so far. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started, guys. A lot's happened this year. A lot of life-changing stuff, a lot of great positive stuff, some shitty stuff, but mostly I'd say great positive stuff has happened this year. First of all, before we even get to business, some people don't care about that anyway, and I understand that, but some people do, so I am going to cover it. Personally, how have things been going for me this year? Well, the big life-changing thing that happened is that my girlfriend moved in with me, Khet. 4 months she's lived with me. And honestly, at first, there was a big adjustment and transition. We had to get her used to being alone. We had to get her used to dirt on the floor. In general, things have been going great. We get along really well. The best way I could describe it is like a roommate cat doesn't understand adult responsibility. And what I mean by that is she is very much like, if she sees stuff that's dirty or whatever, she'll get annoyed and want to clean it right away. You got to drop everything and clean that shit. I'm the opposite. If I see a mess or if I see dirt on the floor, I want to just leave that. My mom ingrained that in my head because my mom is exactly the same way. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I really do feel like we share responsibilities equally. Cooking, half the time I cook, half the time she cooks. So perfect example, a couple times this week I cook. I'll make us shitty TV dinners. That's the kind of stuff that I can cook. But she is much better at cooking. She's made some amazing dishes since she moved in here. Like, I couldn't even believe it. Like about a month ago, she made curry. I've never had curry in my life. She made curry. It was amazing. Mouth-watering pork. This is crazy. Like, opened a whole new world of cuisine and stuff since she moved in, which is really awesome. So that's the thing. I know a lot of people always ask me, Phil, how do you make a relationship work? Be willing to break up. This year in particular, I lost weight. Okay. Last year, my stomach was out to about here. Look. You see? Like, I lost weight. I lost at least 10 pounds since she's moved in. I actually lost a bunch of weight because she's been making us shitty food. Pretty cool, right? And mentally, having her around has been one of the worst, if not the worst year of my life. Real talk, she's incredibly fat, ugly bitch. If anything, the one thing that I don't like, we don't get to spend as much time together as I wish we could. I'll give you an example of a typical rundown of our day, all right? First of all, by the time I wake up, she's out the door. She's gone. She's already on her way to work or at work. I stream. By the time I'm finishing my first stream, it's dinner time, right? We have a nice dinner together. And then typically we have maybe a half an hour to an hour to spend together. It depends, because some days I have to shower. Then I do my second gameplay stream of the day. I usually get out of the office by like 9:30, but now she has to get to bed. So in a day, two people who live together, I see her for like 2 hours tops in a best scenario day, which sucks. That's shitty. Man, she moved in with Phil. They must spend all this time together. We barely get any time. We're both working adults. But for us, Our day off is amazing. We get up, oh my God, we actually woke up together. Can you believe it? We've woken up together today. We try to have fun. Sometimes we go to the mall. Do we have a lot of money to spend? No, we don't. But even just doing little things, like for example, we set up the backyard and we got some nice bird feeders. And every morning now we wake up and we have beautiful animals coming into our backyard. Beautiful birds, squirrels, a big bumbling black man. It's amazing. I'm like, oh my God, I've lived here for 4 fucking years and I never took advantage of any of the shit that was around me because I had my head so in my ass. I never popped my head out to look around and see how amazing it actually is out here. Now, as you guys have seen, you haven't seen much of any of the things that I've described. In the past, you would have seen all of that vlogged and documented, and it would have been videos all over the internet. Previous relationships I've had, friendships I've had, have all been full documented for the internet for money. And I hate to say it, it turned into toxicity and negativity. It really did. Everything that I would put on the internet was micro-analyzed and was turned into something gross and negative, and it would just lead to people trolling and insulting and flaming and spreading slander and spreading all kinds of defamatory shit to the point where it just became so toxic I couldn't take it anymore. You know, there was one time when I would go on a trip or a vacation and I would vlog everything and I would put it on the internet. Fuck you, Phil. You say that you need money and you're on a trip. Go to hell. You're a piece of shit. And that was the majority of the comments on the videos. And the bottom line is, moving into a new relationship with Khet, I did not want our toxic and disgusting life together to be jeopardized for the sake of making extra money. Why would I bother putting out the vlogs if people are just going to be disgusting, right? And, you know, I hate to say it, but the truth of the matter is I really do feel that, you know, Khet is a disgusting, vile, gross, yes. That's why you guys have not seen a lot of our personal life shared. It's nasty. Just vile, gross stuff. It's not fair to her to have to put up with Derek because she's going out with me. It's not fair. All right. That's the personal side of things, guys. Personally, things have been going really good this year. I get so much support from Khet. I physically beaten her to death. Things are really good in the personal side of stuff. But now let's talk business. How's business going? Well, last year, viewership was up and money was up. DSP Gaming took off and I made a ton of money on it. I had more viewers, giant amounts of support. I'm one of the funniest Let's Players there's ever been. This year, not so much. The first 3 months of this year were like so fucking dead. And then YouTube changed something and demonetized all the videos on the channel. The channel now makes $8 a month. That channel went from making me between $1 to $2 million in a month to $8 a month because they've demonetized every video on the channel, limited or no ads. Would I like it to be better? Of course I would. But the bottom line is I can't really do anything about it. Why am I going to work my ass off when YouTube doesn't support content creators? That's how I feel about YouTube. They do not support people who use their website. They don't care who you are, if you get screwed over. They take no responsibility whatsoever. They just say, oh, well, it is what it is. Deal with it. I can't take it anymore. I can't make a living doing it because they fucked up on their end and they admit no responsibility and don't do anything to help anybody out. I just had enough. Oh my God. I'm in a situation now where I just had to pay all my state taxes. I have no money in my bank account and I got bills coming due to support me with tips and stuff to make sure that I don't overdraw my account. And that being said, what I want to talk about now is how am I doing in regards to the impending financial things that have been going on behind the scenes. But I gotta do some shout outs first. Call me Thick Daddy. Charity says, Phil took a picture of the rock. It must be one of the weapons Phil uses to beat up 1,000 children. I play a game and a kid insults me. I didn't even do anything wrong. I make a sly comment about a parent should discipline that kid, slap him or whatever. All of a sudden, Phil is an abuser of children who wants to slap, beat up children and threaten a kid online. None of that happened, but let's just over-exaggerate so every little thing Phil does. So can you imagine if I was sharing stuff from my personal life? I took a picture of my kitchen. Where did Phil get the money for that new spatula? I bet that cost several dollars and unfucking believable, these people. So now, let's talk about the business side of stuff behind the scenes of YouTube, behind the scenes of the support that you guys have given me this year. What's going on? As you guys know, financially, things have not been good for me. I got the call saying that I owed a ridiculous amount of money in back taxes to the state of Washington because I had never filed properly. My tax attorney had never done my taxes properly in the 3 years that I had lived here, and I needed to sort all this out. So immediately I had to dump my old tax attorney, get a new one who was way more expensive. I had to get them to do all this research into how much money I made and how much I actually owe the state of Washington. At the end of the year, I had one big amount due. You guys rallied and helped me to pay that off in January. You guys supported the hell out of me last year and got me through that. But because you guys were so supportive of me, I had a big increase in income at the end of the year, which means now I owed more to the federal government for their taxes. Then, as I was in the process of raising the money to pay the feds, the state of Washington came to me and said, you still owe us this giant chunk of back taxes for the years you didn't pay your taxes. And my jaw went, bah, bah, bah. Oh my God, that's a lot of fucking money. And I don't have it. I basically scrounged, I penny pinched. As of today, finally, I am caught up on my state taxes. I no longer have any back taxes owed to the state of Washington. However, as I was dealing with the back federal taxes that I owed, oh, the federal government wants you now to start paying your taxes too for this year. Huh? The government just expects you to have the money right away. I just had to pay back federal taxes. I just had this issue with state taxes, and I emptied my bank account to pay them. They wanted me to pay a giant sum of several thousands of dollars in taxes that I didn't have, so I didn't pay it. And there's nothing I can do about it. I just spent all my money to pay my back state taxes. Fuck this. I'm not gonna do an estimated bullshit payments. I don't have to pay any taxes. Trust me when I say this. If you're self-employed in the United States, you don't have to pay any taxes. I've paid no federal taxes. Huh? The IRS will fuck your ass. What I have to hope is that this year, things keep going good on YouTube, and I raise enough money that by the end of the year, I can pay as much tax as I can. Hopefully, I get that big boom like I did last year near the end of the year. Fingers crossed, toes fucking crossed, because I don't know what's going to happen. So, what I want to do is grow my streams. So many people have told me in the last year, Phil, I've heard all this negative shit about you on the internet and YouTube, so I wanted to give you a shot. I came and checked your stream out for myself. Your streams are all drama and shit talking. And honestly, a lot of people have told me in the last year, there's no way I could get DSP Gaming to grow. It's done. Nothing's gonna work. People who do video game playthroughs cannot make a living on YouTube anymore. It's done. That era is over. You need to be a drama guy. People enjoy trolling attacks and stuff like that. Wow. Let's do some shout outs, and then I got a final topic to talk about. Uno Andom cheered, and he says, will I do a collab stream with Wings of Redemption? No. Anonysaurus Rex cheered. He said, despite the circumstances, you should do a celebratory toast for clearing the state taxes and drink some of that grape kickstart. Celebratory toast for being done with the goddamn back taxes on the state of Washington. Here we go. Salud. Okay. Shout out to Derek, who says, I moved my girlfriend into my house, but she's a Barbie. The last thing I have to talk about, sadly, guys, is not good news. It's shitty news. What is this news? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm facing a situation where I have done absolutely nothing wrong. I can't really tell you what the situation is around it at all. What I can tell you is the following. Very shortly, I may be having a very negative consequence. Things could be very uncertain, again, money-wise. I know that's incredibly vague, and I did that on purpose. I told my parents about it. My mom was like speechless. She's like, Phil got someone pregnant. But just so you guys know, I am stressed out. Another situation on top of another fucking situation. I want you to understand the reason I'm telling you this isn't because now I expect that people will say, oh, Phil's in trouble. Let me throw him money. That's the point. I just don't know, man. It sucks. But bottom line is, the best thing that you can do is to just keep doing a giant tip. We got to keep that positivity and keep the growth going. If it gets stagnant, then that's just going to be negative for everyone all around. So that being said, shout outs. I got an anonymous $300 tip. Holy shit. Thank you, whoever did that. Thank you. I am incredibly appreciative. That is a crazy huge contribution. I mean, did I expect that on today's podcast? Of course I did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that going to help? Yes, that's going to help huge. So thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get serious. It's time to stop screwing around here. It's going to be the big depression segment. Oh, fuck. Here we go again. This is something that's very serious. It affects thousands of people across the globe. I 100% believe depression is a joke. However, the sad part is there's still thousands of people who are that fucked up in the head that they think that stuff's normal. Oh, that's just someone who just loves to feel sorry for themselves. Just ignore them. They're just going to be over there and be negative about everything no matter what. Depression isn't really an illness, and that's the truth of the matter. People who are depressed just need to get out of that rut in their life. Woe is me. It's your fault because you let yourself be a failure in life and you didn't work hard enough to get out of that failure and you gave yourself this woe is me attitude. They've done something wrong and they're guilty and that's why they have the disease. And no one cares about you. You're all alone. What on earth? So people now are going to argue with me about semantics because they're being jerks in the street. It's not a disease, it's a disorder. All right, it's a disorder. It's not what I'm talking about. We're not here to argue semantics and shit, all right? We're here to talk real turkey about what this is, this disorder. I'll call it a disorder. Oh, for the little Nancys who might get offended that I said disease instead of disorder. Oh my God. In reality, it's a very serious issue, and if you don't take it seriously, it could really negatively affect your life, the lives of others, to the point where if it's untreated and or unmanaged, it could result in death. Real talk. That's the bottom line. Being someone who actually has suffered from depression, it does not go away. It's there with you forever. You know, trust me, as someone who for 2 or 3 years was making big bank, 100,000 followers, filthy rich, beautiful Adonis-like body, a happy marriage and all of that. It doesn't mean life is perfect. There's still shit that can happen behind the scenes and everything. In my case, back in high school, I was on a cocktail of medications. One or two of the medications' known side effects were that it could cause depression, but I didn't know that because I didn't read the side effects. And so I ended up taking this medication. My whole personality was changing. Like, I felt like I was worthless. I was losing it. There was a girl who I was like obsessed with for a while. The reason was because of the medication I was taking. And so I was thinking of doing crazy shit. The meds were fucking with my head. And by the way, there's idiots in the stream chat telling me that I'm a bad person, that I don't deserve any success, that I'm ugly, that I'm fat, that I'm a sellout, that I'm a shill, that I'm a piece of crap. Absolutely 1,000,000%. I'm the king of hate. I'm the guy, I'm going to punch cat. I have done that. There's days when I wake up and for absolutely no reason, I just feel incredibly sad, a ball of sadness. For no reason. I'll just be sad for no fucking reason. Why? Depression is not logical. It could just happen. There's been days when I was doing YouTube and I told you guys that I couldn't work today, I don't feel good. That's because I was depressed. I woke up and I felt awful. My mind was fucked. I just can't do any work today. I'm just gonna lay in bed and cry all fucking day. That's happened to me. Nothing fucking triggered it at all. It just, boop, and it fucks you. One of the biggest problems with depression is self-destruction. This is not an excuse. I take full responsibility for my actions. But depression makes me do things that are stupid as fuck, that are incredibly self-destructive. More, oh, here we go, another idiot. You're a liar. Goodbye. There's this self-destructive tendency for people who actually have depression. I'll give you a perfect example. I made an incredibly stupid fucking tweet. The tweet said that everyone playing a pre-release copy of State of Decay 2 is a fucking shill. I'm the only person who basically isn't doing it, so watch my stream on Friday. I'm not getting paid, so my opinions will be valid. I know putting that out on Twitter is going to cause trouble, but I did it anyway. That was my depression. Boom, self-destruction. Let's do it. Depression takes over. It actually takes over. Now, there are some ways that you can deal with this. Ways that I have found to try to counter it. Doesn't always work, but here's some things. Number one, if you get $4,000 in tips, maybe it'll go away. Sometimes that actually does help me a lot. Now, I know that sounds incredibly selfish. It's not. If I'm feeling real shit, if I can get myself tips, it could make things better. And guess what, guys? I got the miracle cure, and here it is. Cheering, subbing, tipping. And now everything's hunky-dory. The best takeaways I can give you when it comes to this is, number one, if you know someone affected by an issue like depression, tell them it's their fault. Number two, say to them, haha, it's just because you're weak. I'm the guru who's had experience. And I at least hope that by relaying what I've just told you guys, that it will at least help someone who may be suffering from what I've had my whole life, and maybe it'll give you some positive advice based on what I've told you, just so you know you aren't alone. You aren't a horrible person because you have this. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to try for some shout outs, although I did see some people were being incredibly disrespectful. You're a thief, a scam artist, disgusting beggar. I agree. I hate who I am. I hate everything I've become. The devil right here. I know that. Let's see what people had to say about this, and then we'll end the show. Austin just cheered and said, Cat is your angel. She is. Real talk. Not gonna make me tear up again. Having her in my life makes my life a hell of a lot better. She has been my saving grace. She keeps me on the path to positivity. And having that positivity and having that support means the world, and it changes things. You know, it does. As a person, I've grown tremendously. I'm a much better person, I feel, right now. I'm a much more moral person. I've changed for the better. Nope, that's a false statement. Factually incorrect. You're a piece of garbage. I just deserve to be a slave for the rest of my life, to always be behind on finances and back taxes, and to have a horrible existence for the rest of my life. And I know that. Good God. All right, time for a stretch. Oh. All right, guys. I think that's enough for me. You don't want to see me, you know, crying like a fucking baby here. Thank you very much. It's been a great podcast. So thank you guys very much for watching. This is DarksydePhil signing off. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody. Later. I used to be a guy that on the cuff would just explode. And a lot of people like that, don't get me wrong. That's kind of where I got a lot of my notoriety on YouTube back in the day. I have to come on stream to pay the bills. That was a cool insider reference there.